gotta just did something here. All right, good. I only have one more movie on this eater list. So I know I promised that I would do a review of Space Jam: A New Legacy on YouTube, and to be honest, I didn't completely forget. I just did it on Instagram, and then I was thinking about doing it, but ugh, one one thing I want to get clear is that I was already busy recording the Fear Street thing, so and the original video was so damn long that I just gave up halfway through. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to make a oopsies apology saying that I would just do a short review on it. Starting to see why the review thing never works well. You know, but I saw it. And let me just say, I grew up with the original Space Jam. I grew up rewatching it whenever it was on Cartoon Network or on HBO or anything, you name it. And I will admit, there are areas in the original film that do not age well. Most certainly, some of the CG animation is not good. You can tell, like, it was the 90s. That was the best they could do at the time, I guess. Or maybe they just didn't have enough money because they already spent it on, like, just some of the CG effects did age horribly. But it's a fun little film that I always love to rewatch every once in a while because it helps me forget about the problems with the real world. And when Space Jam: A New Legacy was announced, I certainly had my doubts. I was like, oh, they're making a sequel. Okay. And, then I heard Justin Lin was involved as like a producer. I don't know. Okay, this is gonna hurt me, but I gotta really look up what the hell went. Space Jam: A New Legacy, what I will say, it has great animation. All right, like when it's the 2D Looney Tunes, that's really great. It's probably better than in the original. I would say the animation, and when they fully transition to CGI, all the Looney Tunes, when they transition to 3D, it's really great. It looks really good. The animation, like the texture on the furs, like the follicles on the hair. I want to see Corridor Digital talk about it. Space Jam: A New Legacy, and just like look at it and be like, they'll probably say the same thing. The movie's not good. Okay, that's the thing. This movie is probably one of those movies like The Room, where it's so bad it's kind of good because there are so many fun moments. There's moments like where every one of the Looney Tunes are in a different side of the universe and they're doing their own thing. Like in a DC part of the serververse, Daffy wants to be part of the Justice League, and he keeps staging these little ruses just to join them, which is a very Daffy thing because most of Daffy's ideas are Daffy's not the smartest guy in the room, which has been well established. And then there was let's see what else was there. When they go to Mad Max portion of the serververse, Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, and Roadrunner. That was instantly funny because I was like, yes, that would make sense. I would totally see this. It makes a lot of sense. And Wiley doing the spray there and the sign holding "Witness Me," and then it goes to "Witness Me." It is so funny. And oh man, what else was there? Oh yeah, the Austin Powers one was very funny for me because the Austin Powers one was hilarious. Uh, Elmer Fudd as Mini Me was like intelligently. It's like I can totally do that. And Sylvester as Mr. Bigglesworth. Also, the Tasmanian Devil as an experiment being experimented on by Rick and Morty. Also, weirdly enough, the one movie, essentially, this movie is now going to be known as the movie where they finally have a theatrical debut. Rick and Morty. It's like that. It makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's Tasmanian Devil. You'd have to run experiments. Plus, the Tasmanian Devil's like one of my favorites. It's actually Wile E. Coyote, Tasmanian, Roadrunner, Tasmanian Devil, Bugs. Yeah, and what else is there? There's probably one I'm forgetting. Also, Lola trying to be one of the Amazons is interesting, but sadly, that cannot make up for a horrible, not a really good film. This one might probably be the worst film I've seen all year. Legitimately, I've been avoiding most films just because, but this was bad. This was really bad. I can't even. It's although I will say Don Cheadle's clearly having fun, and oh god, there is so much. In fact, I feel like if I'm not mistaken, there was studio interference in this movie, and that it's quite possible because from what I know, this was actually a production hell. Let's look at it. All right, one, two, three, four, five, six different writers. This movie had six different writers. How? Why? And $150 million was spent on this. Why? Why, God? Why did you do? Why? All right. Space Jam sequel, yada yada, resurgence. All right, here's what's interesting. It was announced that original director Terrence Nance was leaving the project because he and the studio slash producers had different takes on the creative vision for Space Jam 2, and that Malcolm D. Lee would serve as his replacement. Bradford Young, who was set to serve as cinematographer, also left the project and was replaced by cinematographer Salvatore Totino. So much replacements. This is like a studio movie. This is essentially a 2 hour long commercial for HBO Max, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the problems anymore. I want to see Andre talk about it. I love Andre. I love Black Nerd. Uh, Just he's like probably the most energetic personality on YouTube I've ever seen, and it's like, all right, we got 30 minutes of Andre talking about Space Jam 2. I'm down.
Hey, it's Andre, and I've got to explain Space Jam: A New Legacy. Hold on to your butts. It's gonna be a doozy. Obviously, spoilers. I'm gonna go through a lot of stuff in this movie, so you've been warned. Spoilers. So the movie starts off with little LeBron going to play a basketball game. His mom's leaving him behind. He's all sad because his mom has to work, so she can't be there to watch him play the game. But luckily, he's got
Damn it! I forgot about the auto settings. I hate this. Why does YouTube do this to me every single goddamn time?
his friends there, and one of his friends gives him a Game Boy. He gives him the old school Game Boy because he just got the Game Boy Color. And this is where we get our first reference in Space Jam: A New Legacy. One that I not think we would ever get in any movie ever. Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. He's playing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle on the Game Boy. The moment I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm on for the ride. Like, I'm not even going to try to be all critical with this movie. When you start off the movie with Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, the thing that cracked me up about that was I actually got that game on the Nintendo, on the NES, for Christmas. I got that and DuckTales one year for Christmas. So, LeBron, we got something in common. We both played Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle as a kid. But because LeBron wasn't paying attention to the game when he finally got into the game, he did not do a good job. So his coach got on him saying that when you come to the court, you got to be focused before you even get in the game. You can't have these distractions showing off the Game Boy. And I'm like, wow, Nintendo, good job. You put yourself in a movie where people are saying you're a problem. So LeBron throws the Game Boy away. I was like, wait, hold on. My mom and dad would have smacked me on the back of my head if I would have done that. Like, boy, you better pick that Game Boy up out of the trash. Who you think you are? You know that thing costs money. I know your friend gave it to you, but that still costs money. You better get that Game Boy and dust it off. and played at night, played after the game, be throwing away Game Boys. So that mean coach making LeBron not play his video game, which allowed him to focus and become one of the greatest basketball players ever. I'm sorry, what's the lesson? We cut to present day where we see LeBron's huge house. I guess that's a big difference between Space Jam and Space Jam: A New Legacy. Space Jam tried to make us believe that Michael Jordan lived in a tiny house in the suburbs. LeBron's like, no, we ain't doing that. His older son is becoming like the next LeBron, loves to play basketball, but his younger son, Dom, is more interested in video games. He even made his own video game called Dom Ball. But of course, LeBron, thinking about his past when his coach yelled at him about playing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, was like, don't be talking about them video games. You need to put in that work.
I just gotta really fix it. Swear to God, the support on this really has a weird wobbling problem. Plus, look at my bed. It's a little goddamn messy. Not unusual. I am unusual. I'm telling you. It's not. I'm really enjoying the video part. You get to see me do my chores during the middle of the video. I'm about as crazy as Andre at this point. Ugh. Oh God. Mm, mm. Okay. I fixed the bed. Back to the video.
One scene of him talking to his son, he's all like, you gotta put in that work. You gotta have those fundamentals. We gotta put in that work. Are you giving up? You can't win if you don't put in that work. We get it! It then cuts to Warner Brothers Studios where we get to meet our villain, Al-G Rhythm, as in algorithm, played by Don Cheadle. God dang it, Don Cheadle is the man. He is the VIP. He took what could have been a most stupid character and just made that thing gold from his performance. LeBron, get ready, baby. The whole movie, he's just so good. He changes the emotions, the stares he gives. He's just great. So the whole thing about Al-G Rhythm, which I think is kind of funny, he is inside Warner Brothers servers, or they call it the Warner 3000 serververse. And his whole thing is that he's an algorithm so powerful that he's basically making decisions for Warner Brothers. Which, when you think about some of the decisions that Warner Brothers has made in the last few years, you're like, is this real? This might be true to life. Maybe this explains the whole Justice League fiasco.
You know what? Given what Andre's not far off. Who knows? The algorithm is like algorithm would have probably if algorithm was wait, what does he say? Algorithm that controls Warner Brothers decisions.
The stares he gives, he's just great. So the whole thing about Al-G Rhythm, which I think is kind of funny, he is inside Warner Brothers servers, or they call it the Warner 3000 serververse. And his whole thing is that he's an algorithm so powerful that he's basically making decisions for Warner Brothers. Which, when you think about some of the decisions that Warner Brothers has made in the last few years, you're like, is this real? This might be true to life. Maybe this explains the whole Justice League.
You know what? Andre's not far off. This Al-G Rhythm, the real criminal, the real villain of, Justice League. I'm surprised no one's made a meme about that yet. I mean, clearly Space Jam: A New Legacy, there's not going to be memes. But I'm going to say it. Who knows? I'm just saying, Andre's not far off.
Fiasco. I can't wait for one day when someone at Warner Bros. Is like, oh, it wasn't us, it was Al-G Rhythm. He made all this change. He's like, I'm basically making all these ideas for Warner Brothers. I need some respect to my name. So if I can get someone like LeBron James on my side, his celebrity and my technology is going to make me the most respectful algorithm in the serververse and in the world. But I just love the idea that our villain is literally Warner Brothers. So he sets up a meeting for LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron and his son go to the Warner Brothers.
The fact that this film is more of a Warner Brothers circle jerking themselves, I mean, it's not really far off. And the fact that the real villain is Warner Brothers, it's like, damn it, you didn't need to make this movie real. We already suffered with Justice League. And yeah, who knows? Maybe Algae Rhythm is the reason the Snyderverse is not restored. I'm probably gonna have to make that. Thanks to Andre, I'm now making that joke. Though he claimed it, so.
Lot where they perfectly have posters for recent and upcoming movies. Like literally, there's a poster for Scoob. There's a poster for the new Matrix. There's a poster for the Suicide Squad. Just want to let you know in Space Jam that there's R-rated Suicide Squad movies coming out. You gotta love the advertising, folks. This meeting is set up by Steven Yeun and Sarah Silverman. Is that a reference? Because if you remember, Sarah Silverman voiced Vanellope von Schweetz, who was in the Wreck-It Ralph movies, and the second movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet, had a scene where Vanellope went to the Oh My Disney website. So basically, she was in the Disney serververse where all the Disney and Marvel and Star Wars and Muppets were all together and had that whole scene with the princesses. And that's basically what this movie is, but the Warner Brothers version. So did they deliberately put her in this movie to make that connection, or am I giving the movie way too much credit than it deserves? You be the judge. But I think we all know the answer. So Algae Rhythm, animated, looking like a kid.
It's probably both, now that I think about it. I was like, is that Sarah Silverman? Because Steven Yeun, I mean, I probably have not seen Sarah Silverman in a while. Yeah, I've got a lot of dust. The room is so goddamn dusty. Ugh. I should exercise more.
Character from the Proud Family shows off this presentation to be like, LeBron, you don't even have to be here. We can digitize you into any movie we want. We can have you fighting Batman. We can have you in Game of Thrones. We can have you in Harry Potter, which is kind of funny that they keep putting this black man into a lot of franchises that don't have a lot of black people in them. But they're like, we can do it all ourselves. And they showed all the movies that they have owned, including the original Space Jam. You saw that little cameo in there. I don't remember the exact thing that happens in this part of the movie because I was too busy looking at the statues in the back of Marvin the Martian and Dot from Animaniacs and Gizmo from Gremlins. I was like, oh, those are some cool statues. Can you buy those? Oh, by the way, a movie's happening. I'm sorry. I should be paying attention. But LeBron hates on his own movie. In the movie, he's like, this don't make no sense. You want an athlete to act? That never goes right. Also, sticking me in a bunch of random movies is the dumbest idea I ever heard. He says it in the movie. He literally says the plot of this movie is...
I don't think LeBron was acting. I'm pretty sure someone had accidentally brought a camera into the prepping session and was like, he said what he did, like, athletes acting in a movie is like a bad idea. And he's just like, yeah, and it's like, wow, that wasn't even acting. That was LeBron actually calling out how stupid the movie is. Yeah, my laugh isn't as good as Andre's. I'm no Andre. Yeah, I love Andre though.
Is stupid in the movie. But did he cross the line and says the algorithm is stupid? Algae took that personally. And he's like, I got you. So I'm going to bring you down to the serververse and steal your kid. And also at this time, LeBron and his son are arguing because Dom, he doesn't want to go to this basketball camp that's happening the next weekend. He actually wants to go to an E3 coders camp. And I'm like, what, E3 gets a reference in this thing? So they walk into the Warner 3000 serververse because plot. And then eventually Dom gets sucked in. So then LeBron gets sucked in as well. And they meet Algae Rhythm. He does this whole Wizard of Oz thing where it's just his head floating around. And then he shows his true self to be Don Cheadle. And my favorite part of this is that LeBron looks at Dom and it's just like, the computer's black. Dom's like, I can see that, Dad. Algae is basically the LeBron hater. Like, he is the characterization of a LeBron hater. I especially love when Dom was like, I can't believe my dad left me in the serververse. And Algae was like, well, are you surprised? He left Cleveland. He left Miami. He left Cleveland again. Look out, Lakers. I was like, dang. There's also another part where Dom is like, yeah, my father's one of the best basketball players of all time. And Algae was like, well, the jury's still out on that one. Don Cheadle is great in this. So Algae is talking.
I remember seeing the videos from Real Rejects And every time when Don Cheadle's character in this movie says, "Pete, send this clown to the rejects," and then the real rejects are like, yes, join us, and they like, yeah. So every time I hear that line, if I ever hear that line again, I'm probably gonna say, "Hey, you get to join the rejects, real rejects." I don't know. It's like.
Talking to LeBron, meanwhile, his son is like gone. And LeBron's like, what happened to my boy? And he's like, oh, well, you can get your son back, but you got to do something for me. Since you don't want to be in any of my movies, you want to play basketball, fine. We're going to have a basketball game to get your son back. Sure. And so he drops LeBron into the serververse, and we see LeBron flying through a bunch of different worlds, which are basically all Warner Brothers movies. So he flies through Game of Thrones.
And TV shows. Except this movie is far better than the final season of Game of Thrones. Why would I say something so controversial, yet so brave?
Thrones, through Harry Potter, through Casablanca, and the
Oz.
Maltese Falcon, the Jetsons, Matrix, Wizard of Oz, and you hear all these sound bites and stuff. I'm sure all the creators of these movies are so thankful that their movies are referenced in Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'm sure when the Wizard of Oz was made decades ago, they were like, I hope one day that my movie gets referenced in a movie where a basketball player and a cartoon rabbit are playing basketball. Is what Dorothy always wanted. She clicked her heels 3 times and asked specifically for this. It's in the book. Go read it. It's in the original book. So a cartoon LeBron lands in Looney Tunes World, complete with a Nike swoosh. Looney Tunes World looks completely deserted, but eventually he runs into Bugs Bunny. Yes, finally Bugs Bunny is in this damn movie. And Bugs Bunny is acting really weird. He's trying to start the whole rabbit season, duck season bit with LeBron. He's doing a bunch of Looney Tunes gags, painting the tunnel on a rock that LeBron runs into, driving a truck, trying to run over him. He pulls out TNT. He references the actual cable channel, TNT, but it's actually TNT, like dynamite. Bugs take him to a barbershop, which I guess is like...
That was actually a funny joke, though. TNT, the cable channel's like, yeah, we got cable. I even got TNT. Like, essentially, yeah.
A reference to the shop that LeBron has where they have the conversations in the barbershop, and also the Rabbit of Seville, the one where Bugs Bunny is like when he's cutting. Oh, and Bugs Bunny becomes Big Chungus because of internet. Thanks, internet. Bugs finally tells LeBron.
Hey, what? I forgot about Big Chungus. I really forgot. I guess I was not really as aware of Big Chungus because I am a Looney Tunes fan, although I probably was not subjected to Big Chungus. Should I be thankful? Should I not? Let me know.
On what happened to the Looney Tunes, Algae Rhythm came down and was like, you guys, there's more out there than Looney Tunes World. You can be in a bunch of different cooler things. And so all the Looney Tunes left, but Bugs stayed behind because Looney Tunes World is his home. It's where he gets to be himself. So when LeBron is like, I need to put together a team to go up against Al G for this basketball game, Bugs sees that as an opportunity to get his friends back. Because LeBron was all like, I want like Superman and Iron Giant and Trinity and King Kong on my team. And Bugs is like, nah, we getting them Looney Tunes, yo. That's how this works. It's Space Jam. I also love that Bugs at one point when he was like, you want me, a talking cartoon rabbit, to work with you, a professional basketball player, in a high-stakes basketball game? This sounds familiar. I'm like, cool. The other Space Jam happened. This is not replacing the other Space Jam. This is a continuation. So if you were concerned about that, it is not a reboot. It is a continuation. It's a new story. It's a sequel, technically. So LeBron's not replacing Jordan for people who care about that sort of thing. There are people who are treating this like real athlete things. Like, they're like, how many points did LeBron get in this Space Jam game versus Jordan got in his Space Jam game? Like, really? We really doing this? So they trick Marvin the Martian to come down to Looney Tunes World to get his spaceship, and they travel to go get the other ones. I guess this is where the space portion of Space Jam takes place. This is like cyberspace because all the different movies are planets. So, haha. And then this is where we start getting all kinds of references. We see them fly across Harry Potter World, where LeBron says he's a Hufflepuff, and I say, bullshit. I'm a Hufflepuff. If I'm a Hufflepuff, I don't think LeBron's a Hufflepuff. But then again, we both played Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle when we were kids. But then they go to DC World, and this part look, I'm sorry. I know some people are all like, "Oh, this movie is a big commercial for Warner Brothers and HBO Max." I hear you. I understand you. I see it too. I see the corporate synergy. I see the marketing.
Although I did find it funny when they were in DC World, and then it's Bugs as Batman and LeBron as Robin. That one was actually funny though. Why? Why are there so many good moments in this horrible, horrible film? Why?
But god dang it, that DC world. Because it is classic, like 90s Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. They're going through Metropolis because Daffy Duck is there trying to be Superman. He's Super Duck, trying to like stage saving a train from running into an orphanage so that he can look like a hero. But then Bugs Bunny dressed as Batman and LeBron dressed as Robin are there. They drive through 90s animated Metropolis and 90s animated Gotham City and Atlantis and the Fortress of Solitude. And if you look at the background, you can see that Lois Lane and Harley Quinzel and Alfred from the animated series are on the train. It goes past one point, you see Clark Kent, you see Jimmy Olsen, and then Superman actually stops the train, and then the Justice League show up. You see like Batgirl and the Flash and Green Lantern and Aquaman. And the music too, they got like the Superman, they got the Batman music, they got the Adam West Batman music. I was like, can we stay here forever? This is my favorite DC movie. This section of Space Jam, A New Legacy. Then we get the montage of them getting other characters. So then we go into Mad Max Fury Road, where Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner are there. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's a desert. So you get Wile E. Coyote dressed as one of the dudes that's all like, notice me, witness me, spraying the stuff on his face. Austin Powers shows up because Elmer Fudd is Mini-Me. And Sylvester is Mr. Bigglesworth, completely shaved and everything. Then they replace dude from Casablanca with Yosemite Sam because his name is Sam. And that's all in black and white. Like, I can understand if you are a person that loves movies, you must hate this. You are seeing some of your classics being infiltrated by Looney Tunes. I'm sorry, I liked it. Like, I could have had that as an entire movie. Like, I was almost forgetting about the whole basketball thing. I was like,
I would have rather seen movies like that. Much like I said, there's so many more interesting things going on rather than the actual plot of the movie. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Plot of the movie. Like I said,
like, look, if we had an entire movie where the Looney Tunes are just jumping through other movies, and maybe there's some commentary about no one likes the Looney Tunes anymore because they're old, they like all this new stuff, that's why they went to the new stuff. But then we learn over time that, look, as much as all this new stuff is great, you can't forget the classics. If there was some story that was just that about the Looney Tunes, that could have been cool.
I agree. I wish I could have seen that movie. That movie could have been so much better than the one we eventually got. Why do you do this to me, Warner Brothers? Why? Uh,
I would have been fine with that movie. Sorry. That's just me. I saw Foghorn Leghorn flying on a Game of Thrones dragon talking about winter. I said winter is coming. That's gold, y'all.
that is. That is. Winter. I say winter is coming. I just thought of a dirty porn parody version of it. I don't want to talk. Oh, God. Winter. I forgot about Foghorn Leghorn. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. There was more thought. There was more thought put into that little Game of Thrones moment, any small Game of Thrones moment reference in this film, like I'm saying, than there was in the entire goddamn series finale. Why? Why? How is this so much better than the final season of Game of Thrones? I don't know. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna say it. I would have rather seen Foghorn Leghorn say "Winter is coming" on a loop than rewatch the final season again. I haven't actually seen Game of Thrones since I saw the disappointing final season, which says a lot.
Is movie quality right there. That is probably the most I'll ever watch the Game of Thrones. Then while they're recruiting characters, Taz gets dropped off by Rick and Morty. They're like, we're done running tests with your Badger thing. It's your problem now, dum-dums. I was like, what? Rick and Morty are in Space Jam? Oh, the cameos. Oh, man. Get mad at this movie all you want to, but shoot, people lost their minds when Rick and Morty popped up in the theater. They were like, what? Wubba-dubba-dub-dub. Okay, but I will say, we still doing Matrix jokes in 2021. I was like, all right, y'all, I get it. Warner Brothers owns the Matrix. They got a new Matrix movie coming out. But we literally doing the like Speedy Gonzalez going in bullet time and Granny doing the whole jump in the air in 360. Like, we did that. Shrek did that. Everybody did that. We bringing that back, I guess.
Now, even The Perfect Score did that. I remember there was a. I've seen the movie The Perfect Score. Real legends remember that. I remember it was a version they were parodying the same scene. It was Scarlett Johansson's character because her character in the movie she's kind of like the mysterious girl in the movie. Essentially, the whole movie is that it's a teen heist film, but they're actually trying to activate. They're actually trying to steal SAT answers. Watch that movie. That movie you should check out The Perfect Score. It's a guilty pleasure for me. But man, I remember it, and then literally Scarlett Johansson does it. She does the Trinity kick. I swear to God, yeah, that was a thing. Everyone kept doing the Matrix after it came out because bullet time was revolutionary. So you had to make visual. Even Rocky and Bullwinkle did that. Even the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie did that. Where it was like 7 scene, and the narrator's like, as time stood at RBTV. I remember. I don't know. I've seen it too much times as a kid. Oh god. Andre did this to me. Andre, you did this to me, Andre. You did this, Andre. I'm kidding. I love you, Andre.
If old clothes come back in style, old references to the Matrix can come back in style too. I still dug it though. LeBron is like, look, dude, I can't have all these Looney Tunes on my team. I need somebody that plays basketball. And Bugs is like, I got you. Lola. Let's go get Lola.
I hope that if what I think is going to happen is happening, please. I hope it's for the right reasons because I know. I'm not going to say what it is.
And so she's in Wonder Woman. I see what they did here because I was like, well, wait a minute, we already went to DC world, but no. Lola's in DC comic book world. That's different. That is because you watch DC movies on an HBO Max service and you read DC comics on a DC Comics service. So both need to be advertised. Because yeah, when they go into Wonder Woman, it's that actual comic book. And I'm sorry, y'all. I understand the commercialism, but this animation was kind of sweet because they were actually doing like comic book panels, and you get Rosario Dawson, Wonder Woman.
Some great animation. Also, I want to see if Andre loses his shit. I really am.
Talking to Lola Bunny, who's all ready, and then they got that Wonder Woman music kicking in. So of course Bugs is all like, Lola, we need your help. I was like, good callback with that one. And Lola's like, nah, playing basketball with an athlete, been there, done that. When she finds out that it's all to save Dom, she's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm back in the game. And Bugs is all happy to see all his Looney Tunes friends together, except for one. I feel like there's still someone missing. LeBron tries to trade the Looney Tunes because I guess they apparently forgot how to play.
I know what. The Pepe Le Pew one. Oh, God. Yeah. So much. Hypocrite. Warner Brothers. Okay, I cannot trust those sons of bitches anymore. Given how they've screwed up the DCEU most of the time. Yeah, Pepe Le Pew is inappropriate for kids. The Droogs? Okay to put in the Droogs are rapists, for Christ's sake. They're goddamn rapists.
Basketball from the last time, but they have problems because LeBron wants to put in that work. He wants to put in them fundamentals. But the Looney Tunes, they're Looney Tunes. They do Looney stuff. They're dropping anvils and pianos on everyone. Granny is riding like a little scooter on a ramp while Wile E. Coyote is exploding buses that she jumps over, and then she slams the ball and goes, game, blouses. Yes, Granny makes a Chappelle Show reference. You know, they're Looney Tunes. That's what they do. They keep it loony. They like to have fun. And LeBron's like, no, man, fundamentals. Got to put in that work. Bugs Bunny does an MC Hammer dance and draws like lady dancing bunnies at some point. I just felt that was necessary to let you know that it exists in the movie.
Now I know what the joke was. That I was really wondering if Andre would do it. It was in. I remember when he did the videos for Aladdin and the Charlie's Angels 2019. There would be a moment where Andre was like, yeah, yeah, and he's talking. He's like, and they have this girl, and she was pretty good, really great. Can you excuse me again? And then he goes out off screen. He's like, God damn, Andre, I'm trying to be goddamn movie. I'm trying to be professional. I miss that. Yeah, that's essentially Andre is me if I see an attractive woman in a movie. It's like Black Widow, like Florence Pugh in it. You already got Scarlett Johansson. You got Florence Pugh. And you also got Rachel Weisz, and also I'm gonna say Olga Kurylenko. Oh, I've missed you, Andre. Don't ever leave me again. Don't ever leave us again, Andre. I've missed this.
He does Can't Touch This. It's 2021. Remember that. Now it is time for the big game. Al G drops a giant basketball court in Looney Tunes World. Oh, it's the old washed up Looney Tunes. Look at all 2D. We got to fix that. So it's Al G that turns the Looney Tunes into 3D. I actually thought the Looney Tunes looked good in CG, though. They actually didn't look too shabby. Al G is like, all right, we got to get an audience for this thing. And that's when it happens. That's when Andre's brain just splatters across the screen. Characters.
Andre died of brain hemorrhage.
Pop culture icon characters. WB property characters. From across the decades. Coming at you at one time to go watch this game. We're talking the Iron Giant, Scooby-Doo, Harry Potter Wizards, Game of Thrones Dragons, King Kong, Smallfoot, Animaniacs, the Flintstones, the Jetsons,
and Gremlins,
the Thundercats, the Great Gazoo, Muttley, Penelope Pitstop, Peter Potamus, Magilla Gorilla. But that's not all. You get Jabberjaw, Frankenstein Jr., the Herculoids, Space Ghost flying in the air. Beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful. Takes me back to the days of the USA Cartoon Express. It's Scooby's Laugh Olympics up in this piece. All right, there's a lot of Warner Brothers characters here. There's a lot of Hanna-Barbera characters here. But what did I say? From the moment I saw trailer 1, I was like, you cannot have a movie with a bunch of Warner Brothers characters and
not have Gremlins.
Not have them Gremlins. Them Gremlins better show up in this movie.
I knew it. I knew Andre was going to acknowledge that. That actually threw me. I was like, oh, the Gremlins. I know Andre loves Gremlins.
And Space Jam: A New Legacy was like, oh, you want Gremlins? Not only are we going to show you the Gremlins, we gonna put them in front of the camera, close up, yomping at the camera like, Stripe with this freaking chainsaw, and they got the Gremlin with the 3D glasses, the one with a Christmas hat, and they were like right in front of the camera like, look at this CG, look at this Gremlin CG. They took a close up. They took over the movie for like 5 seconds like, look at us. Look at this CG Gremlins, because you probably gonna get this in a movie one day, so get used to it. I won't puppet Gremlins, but God dang, them Gremlins look kind of good, though. That was a test. There's no question about it. Why were they that close up? Like Fred Flintstone, Yogi Bear is in the background, and the Gremlins are like, hello! For a brief second, the movie was called Gremlins: A New Legacy. It's ridiculous, man. King Kong and the Iron Giant fist bump. Why? Why does this exist?
Because it's cool.
And why they do a better job of these characters in Ready Player One? The nerd looks.
What did he say?
Man, King Kong and the Iron Giant fist bump. Why? Why does this exist? And why they do a better job of these characters in Ready Player One?
Because Ready Player One has a better story. I love Ready Player One. I've seen it countless times. Never read the book, and I've been trying to avoid the book. The book was spoiled for me, essentially, and I was like, Yeah, the book doesn't sound like something I would read. I think the movie's actually a million times better. Yeah. I've got to rewatch it. No, I've already seen it 20 times in the past 3 years. Gotta stop rewatching. I gotta, like. Also, yeah, the Moron Mountain aliens, the Monstars. I was like, oh, the Monstars! There's so much good in this horrible film, like I keep saying.
Nerdlux pre-Monstars are in this movie. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Space Jam. Run, baby, run. Then you got all these people dressed up as various characters. You got the Mask, Batman Returns Penguin, the Goons from like the 60s Batman. You got the freaking Clockwork Orange dude. Why? You got White Walkers, the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. The Nun, I think, is in there from like the Conjuring movies. You got Pennywise. I know that it is a very long book, but I bet you if you look real close in that book, there's a chapter about Space Jam in there. It's crazy too, because there's a couple of times where you see Pennywise right behind Dom, and I'm like, Dom, run! Go bite your arm off, Dom, then you can't play basketball. My absolute personal favorite, if you watch this movie, or if you watch it again, and I know some of you won't, but the guy that's dressed up as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, this dude is living his best life. He is loving being in this movie because he's right behind Don Cheadle the whole time. It's him and Batman Returns Penguin.
Yeah, and he's like, oh. The guy who plays Mr. Freeze is like, yeah, he was funny. He was funny.
And the Mask. The Mask is also having a good time. But seriously, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking like Mr. Freeze in this movie. Watch him. There's one point where a shot is made and he's just like, yeah, oh, and I'm like, I love this dude. Oh, and also the Looney Tunes. And then we get the Goon Squad, which is a bunch of basketball players, and they have like special powers. Like Anthony Davis is like a giant bird with a huge unibrow, and there's like a snake woman and like a spider woman and like a wet fire, and of course Dom, who's all powered up. I love that they're all like Dom, and he comes floating down while the freaking gospel music plays. We win, yes sir. But that's not enough for Algae Rhythm. He uses Dom's technology to zap a bunch of people in the real world into the server as well. And they was like, if we win the game, y'all all stuck here forever. And I'm also going to delete the Looney Tunes. You keeping up with all that? This is all part of the story, y'all. The Goon Squad just completely destroys the Looney Tunes in the first half. I'm talking about like crazy destroy. Because there's all these power-ups in the game because it's based on Dom's video game. There's different ways you can get style points. You can actually get extra points for doing different types of stuff. So by the end of the first half, the Goon Squad got like 1,000 points. And the Looney Tunes even telling LeBron, like, dude, this is not a regular basketball game. We need to do something different. Think outside the box, get loony. And of course, LeBron's like, no, man, fundamentals. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that work with them fundamentals and work in the fundamentals and work. During the game, they also bring out Kronos. Damian Lillard, I think, is the player. Look, I know the cartoon stuff, right? He's like this robot that can change time. So they really do this cool thing where a Roadrunner tries to run and get the ball, and then he slows down time, and it's a slow motion thing where Roadrunner's all like,
I was like, I went crazy during that moment where it's like all slow. I think Andre says
meep. And Kronos like wraps him up, puts him right in front of the Coyote, and the Coyote's like, oh, finally. You know, then he dresses up LeBron as a pirate and slams the ball in, and then the DeLorean goes by on the scoreboard. They are losing. They go to halftime, and LeBron's like, y'all terrible. And the Looney Tunes are like, nah, you terrible as a coach. And then freaking Sylvester. Sylvester rolls in and is like, don't worry, everyone. I got everything covered. I found Michael Jordan. And they start playing the music, and then Daffy Duck's like, from North Carolina, here he is, Michael Jordan. But it's not Michael Jordan.
It's Michael Jordan.
B. Jordan.
The only reason Ryan Coogler said yes to producing this movie. Ryan Coogler, produce this film. You did Judas and the Black Messiah for us. Fine, but you gotta put Michael B. Jordan in there. Okay, fine. They just bring in Michael B. Jordan. Why? Why am I going so crazy for such a horrible film?
And I cracked up because there was a part of me early on that was like, I bet you money they will do a joke where they're going to think they got Michael Jordan, but it says Michael.
That was me. I remember when I first found out about Michael B. Jordan, I was like, huh? I'm not gonna say, but it's like, wait, Michael Jordan. It's confusing.
B. Jordan. I'm like, that's a pretty funny gag. I can totally see this movie doing that. But to do that, you would have to get Michael B. Jordan. They're not going to get Michael B. Jordan. They totally got Michael B. Jordan. He walks in and is all like, yeah, man, I was trapped in here in the serververse, and I was getting some popcorn, and this cat grabbed me. And everyone's like, Sylvester! That ain't the same dude! Sylvester Porter all look alike. Even Alma was like, that doesn't even look like Michael Jordan. And Sylvester's like, I thought he aged gracefully. And I'm like, dang, Sylvester. Dang. So then LeBron's like, what are you guys doing? Why can't you win this game? And Lola's like, we trying to be you. And that's when LeBron has his revelation. I tried to make the Looney Tunes like me. Just like I tried to make my son like me. I gotta let you do you. He's like, Bugs, take over. And he's like, yeah, now we're gonna play this game, Doc. So that's when they come back completely loony, making a little intro. And they're all dancing and stuff. We ready, you know? And LeBron makes little funny faces. Oh, that's when we get a rap. Yes, y'all. Looney Tunes put on the hip-hop gear and Porky Pig raps. I know some people are like, oh,
Okay. This is what officially kills the movie, in my opinion. There's the moment where it's Hater's gonna. Granny says Hater's gonna hate. Then mind that moment. This moment, I paused. I got out. I was thinking. I've actually seen a parody on Twitter where it's this scene, except it's the dialogue. It's the Eminem rap from 8 Mile. I was like, I want to see that. I want to see someone do this movie, but Eminem. It's like, and then the exact same person who did that put the Porky Pig rap from the 8 Mile rap. Let me just see how long I've been recording this, because I bet you money I've been here 48 minutes. I thought it was longer. Honest to God.
well, this is cringe because Porky Pig is rapping and the Looney Tunes are doing hip hop. But let's be true. You grew up in the 90s. You remember them Looney Tunes shirts. You know what I'm talking about? Them Looney Tunes hip hop shirts where they had on the crisscross backwards pants and the backwards hats. And you had like Bugs Bunny and Taz and like this. So I'm sorry, it's kind of a reference. Then we get the crazy Looney Tunes stuff. You know, we get them doing all the crazy stuff. So the Looney Tunes are now.
Was funny. What have I done with the Roadrunner and then the Tasmanian Devil? It's
catching up, even getting to the point where they're about to win the game. Al G is so mad he turns full Bobby Knight, sweater and all, throwing chairs and everything. They bring Kronos back out because he's like the star player, but Granny's like, I got this. And she like stops him, flips over him, turns his dial to make him like super old, and then gets a shot. And she gets extra points as a senior discount score. And they're all like, oh, she is the one. That
and if I'm not mistaken, they played the Matrix music during that. Like, she is the one. Oh god, Matrix Revolutions has aged far better now that I think about it. Oh wait, screw it. I'm never gonna even take it back anyway.
was a reference to the Matrix reference. They literally are saying Granny is Trinity. or Neo or something. They just want to remind you that a new Matrix movie is coming out, but LeBron does the ultimate power play.
The agents are in the back, not Smith. I think it's just random agents from the Matrix are randomly in some at the audience. Also, forgot to mention Lil Rel is in this.
He goes up to his son. He stops dribbling the ball, and he's like, "Son, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was so hard on you. When I was young, I knew that playing basketball was my only chance to make things better for myself and my family and my life. But now that you live a different life than I did, you should be allowed to do what you think is special for you. And I should have been more supportive of that. And let's have a father-son moment." So now he joins the Tune Squad, and Algie's like, "All right, I got you. Just for that, I'm going full Scorpion King on you, turning myself into a CGI beast."
Yeah. This was officially the part. It was like Porky Pig rapping. And then, Don Cheadle's doing good for the material. He's hamming it up. Then he goes full Scorpion King mode and is like, I'm gonna become a CG Don Cheadle. And the animation, the visual effects are good. And then you can see the uncanny valley on Don Cheadle. It's like, no, I can't unsee it now. I'm never gonna sleep again. Why, God? Why? Oh. Matt, Matt, Matt. Good.
Did I just become a goddamn sheep?
He like gets super large and he's all CG now, and I'm like, okay, now this part of the movie is ridiculous. I was able to accept a lot of things with Space Jam: A New Legacy, but a CG Don Cheadle playing basketball, why? What is the reason? And then Don remembers there's this one shot that's similar to what LeBron does, but if you do it, you kind of glitch out. And the last time he did that with his character when working on the game, it deleted the character. So he's like, we could do it, but whoever does it is going to probably get deleted. LeBron's like, well, I'll do it because I'm an actual person. I can't be deleted like that. And they're like, well, you don't know that. And then right before LeBron's about to do the move, Bugs Bunny takes the ball and he does the move and he shoots it, but then he starts glitching out. And you're like, oh no, they win the game. The Looney Tunes even turn back into 2D. All the people that got sucked into the game go back out, including LeBron's family. But Bugs is lying down on the ground talking about, oh, LeBron, Lola, I don't feel so good. Lola's like holding him. She's all like, Bugs, are you okay, Bugs? And he's all like, did we win? And then he just goes, that's all, folks. And Bugs flies into the air. And you see like a little star with a bunny outline. And Bugs is dead, I guess. So LeBron tricks his son thinking he's taking him to basketball camp when he actually goes to E3 camp instead. He's like, there you go, son. You don't need to be a basketball player. You can become a video game programmer where you'll probably work a lot of hours for not the right amount of pay and probably do some crunch time and then get laid off if your game doesn't sell. Dream big! So, of course, his son is all happy and LeBron's all happy. And Bugs is all happy. Oh, by the way, Bugs Bunny is there. And LeBron's like, whoa, Bugs Bunny, you here? And he's like, dude, I'm a toon. You can't kill me. Now, I will say, this seemed like this would have been a real appropriate time to maybe bring Dom in and be like, what if Dom was able to fix his program to bring Bugs back? I think that would have been like a nice heartfelt moment, because that, again, would have been like, oh, man, my son really is good at this stuff. He was able to save Bugs Bunny. Now I'll let him go to E3 camp. But I guess we didn't have enough time for that because they had to mention Harry Potter 3 more times. So Bugs just returns and is all like, I'm here in Hollywood now. I'm going to hang out with you, LeBron. We family. He literally says that. I mean, we have a Dom in the movie.
Family. Hey, I gained the ability to speak again. Hallelujah, it's a miracle.
Another Dom can be like, family. I like it. We don't get an after credit scene, but we do get like a bunch of photos of the Looney Tunes hanging out in Hollywood. Couldn't help but notice, but all the photos, they're doing like different sports. Like they're biking and skating and doing yoga. And then like Granny's fighting in the UFC. And Lola Bunny's playing tennis. And Bugs Bunny is doing golf with Bill Murray. Nice. So there's a part of me that's like, are y'all trying to maybe like put a little dab in there that if we do Space Jam again, maybe we're going to change the sport? Like maybe not do basketball the next time. Maybe we'll try some other sports. I'm down with that. That's Space Jam, my new legacy. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It's a big commercial. A lot of critics do not like it. Some people don't like it because LeBron's in it. Some people don't like it.
What? I did not just see that. Andre, I did not see that.
It's a big commercial. A lot of critics do not like it.
What? 81 goddamn percent? Oh, son of a bitch. Why? Just when I couldn't think this could get any worse. I'm hoping it better be Photoshop.
Like it. Some people don't like it because LeBron's in it. Some people don't like it because Lola Bunny's buddy boobs aren't big enough. Like there's a lot of reasons.
DeviantArt exists. Of course they're gonna over-sexualize Lola. I've seen shit that'll turn me white. Well, whiter. Kind of like Fry when he drinks that energy drink a lot at the end of that episode of Futurama.
But I'm sorry. Y'all know about me? I was like, give it to me. Give me all this jam. Putting on some bread. Biscuits and jam. Yeah, dude, I know this movie makes no sense. I know this movie is ridiculous, but there is just something about it where I'm just like, but I still like you. It's McDonald's. That is what Space Jam: A New Legacy is. McDonald's. I know it ain't the best food out there, but I knew what I was getting into. I was not expecting anything major from a sequel to a movie that was made over 20 years ago, which in itself only exists because of an actual commercial from Nike. The whole reason why Space Jam even exists is because of a Nike commercial with Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny in it. I get it. Yeah, it's a little that they keep trying to put all these properties in front of us to be like, look at what we own. But aren't we also the same people that are crying about what characters we want in Smash Brothers? Or that literally made a Nickelodeon fighting game trending recently? Oh, boo-hoo, all these Warner Brother properties all up in here. I bet you money if Iron Man flew across the screen, you'd be all like, whoa, my God. They all selling to us, y'all. They all selling to us. I get it. If you don't like this movie for a variety of reasons, I completely understand. I hear you. I understand you. And most of your reasons are valid. I'm sorry. I had a good time. I had a good time, though. I just love them tunes, man. I don't know what it is. Them Looney Tunes get me. I grew up with them. I love them. 2D, 3D, CG, I don't care. And the people in my theater, they liked it, man. They were applauding. They applauded this movie at the end. That's my people right there. I watched it in theaters. I watched it again on HBO Max. I had a good time with this movie. You don't have to agree with me, but don't hate on me for liking something. I know it's not a great movie. It could have been better. It could have been shorter. I mean, almost 2 hours for Space Jam: A New Legacy. I mean, really? And honestly, I feel like it's 2 movies in one. I feel like the Looney Tunes playing around in other movies and another Space Jam are almost 2 separate ideas. I think there is a story there, in the Looney Tunes trying to make themselves more hip and current when learning that what's best about them is just to be who they are. And I feel like there's a little bit of that in this movie, but I feel like if you would have cleaned this movie up a little bit, you could have emphasized that a little bit more and had more Looney Tunes-esque stuff in this. But for what it is, man, whatever, man. It's Space Jam. And now I want this Gremlins movie that they obviously advertised in this thing. You better have a Gremlins movie coming. I better see a Gremlins trailer tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video. Did you watch Space Jam: A New Legacy? Did you like it or not? Thank you very much for listening to all this nonsense. I love you like a play cousin. I'm out of 5,000. Bye.
Just gotta check. My eyes deceive me. See. Please. What? No, no, my eyes were not deceiving me. 81 audience score. Whereas a good kids movie, let's see how much Spy Kids is going for audience score. I feel like I got the flu again. For notifications. For notifications. Oh, god damn it. I'm gonna have to do this myself. Bye, kids. You know what? I can't. I just want to end it. I just want to put an end to my pain and put an end to my suffering. Not that way. I'm gonna end the video here. I think said enough. The best part of this video was essentially just Andre, because I love Andre. You can talk about anything and I'll still listen to him. Oh, I'll leave a link to the original video down below. Link to Andre, because guy's awesome. What else? He's got 756,000 subscribers. He needs to get to 1 million one day. And I'll leave a link to Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. Take care, everybody.